All right, Carlo. Well, you have played amongst a lot of different players. You were part of the 2018 team that won Comic-Con. You know, you played with one of the best we've ever seen in Domster. So you know what it takes to be a good player. You've played at the top, like I said, you know, led some top teams as well. So I'm quite interested to have your take on this, where we're going to be building the perfect player in South African Counter-Strike using different characteristics from players we've had come and go in the scene to make one perfect player. So let's jump straight into it, mate. Was this easy for you to sort of come up with?
I think so. I've always had um, like a general guideline that I would think, like a perfect player kind of fits into.
Okay.
I don't think it's too overcomplicated. I think it's kind of simple, but at the same time, it's it's difficult because it's so basic and it's not overcomplicated.
Okay, so that can be challenging sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it. Let's start off with the mechanical side of the player. Whose mechanical ability are you going to be bringing into this individual?
So you mean from like ZA
Yeah,
players,
like you've
mechanicals?
got
Okay.
exactly like any South African player we've ever had, besides Sonic or
Mm.
JT, you can
Yeah.
take their mechanical game and implement them into this individual.
So I think there has to be, in terms of mechanics,
Yeah,
it's a lot about like, obviously you've got your raw aim. You've got your like split decision making in your aim, so
yeah,
tapping, bursting, one tapping,
movement.
whatever you want to call,
Yeah.
yeah, movement. Um, Let me think. Someone who had really insane aim. I can't put Dom for everything.
Listen, like he would
uh,
suit them the mark of the perfect
yeah,
player either way, but yeah, let's try and mix it up a
yeah.
little bit, Joe.
Let me think. I think someone who had really good aim was Spartan back in the
Dude,
day.
there's no ways that you just said that because I've been thinking about that lately. That guy in Big Five was just
Mm,
ridiculously good. Like
yeah, it was so underrated.
exactly. He was one of those players who like was just kind of below the surface. He kept himself kind of thing, but he was insanely good at the game, especially like you
Yeah.
said, his mechanical ability. Dude, you're cultured. Like if you know Spartan's game, like then that's all I can say, bro.
Yeah, so his aim, I always just remember him being really consistent, like consistent aim. Like he wasn't, um, the one tappy, flashy kind of style,
Yeah,
which I don't think you need to be anymore. It's like new CS, right? Like we
yeah.
saw where that got screamed. So the consistent aim is far more important than anything. And then for movement, I wouldn't put him under movement because I don't remember him being like the best movement player.
That's the thing is we don't want to. We're not going to be breaking mechanical down into different
Okay,
facets. We're
okay.
just going one player for mechanical, and that's who we're going to inject in.
Uh, let's say Spartan for
Let's
mechanical,
lock
I
him in.
think.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. I
let's
love
lock
that
him in.
answer, man. I love that. Okay, great. Okay, so let's shift from mechanical. Let's go into work ethic. Who are you going to be slotting in there for work ethic?
Um, hmm. I think if I have to think off the top of my head, the people who I've played with personally who've worked the hardest, Lich Lord definitely comes up. He's
Okay.
like a big grinder, in terms of like, learning the game, watching demos, and like making strats. I mean, he was an IDL, so that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Um, in terms of playing the game, like work ethic, grind wise, Deadshot is like, I think he has 10,000 hours and he's like 12 years old, so I don't know how he did that. So,
Started playing the
so
game 6 months ago, and he's
I don't know what's going on there. I was like, yeah, all my teammates have such low hours, and I opened his profile, I saw 10,000 or almost 10,000. I was like, he's almost got
okay.
the same hours as me, and I've been playing for ages now.
Yeah, grinding for a few years. Okay, so when it comes to work ethic, you want to maybe are you considering throwing Deadshot in there then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
He's a,
cool.
he's a grinder, man. He's a grinder.
Yeah, man
Respect.
works hard in his game. Absolutely. Always love it when people have a goal and they're willing to work super hard to achieve it, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so we've got the mechanics of Spot and the work ethic of Deadshot. What about the game sense? Because that's something that's like so cerebral. It's not something you can really teach someone.
Mm.
It just comes with their natural state in the game, right? And their connection to it.
Yeah, I think hands down this has to be Dom.
Yeah,
Hands
surely,
down, he
right?
was just he could lead from the front, from the back. He just knew exactly. He knows what to do all the time, and that's like game sense in itself. It's not just knowing exactly what the enemy team's gonna do.
mm,
It's knowing what you should do at the moment, knowing when to make those snap decisions. Like he was really good at doing that. So I think him.
Yeah, he was also so calm in every situation. It felt like, as you say, he always had a really clear idea of how he wanted to react to whatever was going on, you
Yeah,
know. And you put him in a clutch situation, and it's just like you watch him play.
yeah,
I mean, you had the box office seat in 2018, didn't you?
yeah. It was
I
just easy
mean,
for him, man.
it was easy for Dom. That's all
You
it
get that
was.
feeling, when they're alive, that it's just like it's winnable. So you're still like
Yeah,
focused on the rounds.
yeah. 2v5, but listen, we press tab and you see Dom's name there lit up on the scoreboard. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so game sense of Dom, yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. Sure, fairly enough, man. Okay, lastly, uh, and one of the probably the most underrated aspects of what it takes to be a successful player is communication, at least in South
Mhm.
Africa. So, is there anyone that you've played with or that you know that has really, a really high level of communication that you would throw into the mixer?
Hmm. This one's a bit more difficult because I think comms is like one of those things that for me, it's always been if a player's not good at comms, then
Yeah,
that needs immediate attention, like fixing, or it's like a requirement to play in a team because
absolutely.
yeah, like you can't just go silent and hope for the best. Like I don't think it's a big thing now. I think a lot of players, to be honest, like are pretty good at comms. I mean, a lot of players now just play pugs and stuff, so they have to be good at comms. And especially if you're getting picked up, like the younger players, like if your
Yeah,
comms aren't good, you're not going to get looked at ever. Comms is a hard one because need someone to be like clear, like concise, and also like very impactful with what they say in the rounds. To like, they also need to be able to come like gaps that they see, tendencies from like AWPers or what utils coming in, something like
yeah.
that.
And then it's also not just saying what you're seeing, it's, relaying that information and how you
Mm,
should adjust to it and adapt to it and, how you're interpreting the information as well is really
yeah.
important. I mean, you could throw yourself in there if you wanted.
Um, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's a
I mean,
bit boring.
hey, had a few people do that, so I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
Okay, I guess just because I can't think of anyone. I do think my comms are pretty fairly decent because I mean I have been playing this game for years now,
Yeah,
so
and you've been leading as well for a
um
long time as well, so it's been like one of the
yeah
center pieces of your game, right?
yeah I think for IGLs the comms come naturally at a point. It's just how it needs to be, I guess.
Okay, well, there we go. We got Carlo's the perfect player, as it were. We've got the mechanical ability of Spartan, which is probably my favorite answer I've received from anybody. We've got the work ethic of Deadshot, which I'll have to take your word for it because that was quite a unique one. We have the game sense of Domster, which we could have put his name in for every single slot if we
Yeah,
wanted to be honest. But we wanted to just
true.
change it up a bit, and then the communication of Carlo. So I mean, there we go. That's quite an individual you got going there, mate. I wouldn't be too upset if that guy was on my team. I'll say that for sure.
Sounds like a winner, dude.
Okay, well, there we go. Carlos, perfect player.